Hello, Rebel, and welcome back to my life. So I'm kind of a productivity nut. Not that I'm super productive, but I'm always interested in my production and what I'm producing and how fast I'm producing it. So I track my productivity in a lot of ways. And one thing I do is that I use Google Calendar, where I mark down what I'm doing throughout the day and I color code it. And when I do this, green is the most important thing on my calendar because green signifies production towards producing a book. And the other major color that's on my calendar a lot is yellow. Yellow is all of the public-facing, community-oriented stuff I do throughout the week. Things like the weekly Nightblade Epic podcast, which is totally awesome and you should check it out at the link in the doobly-doo. But my biggest community thing that I do every single week is YouTube. Usually I put hours into scripting and then filming and then editing each video that I publish on this channel. And back in March, I realized something, which is that I was spending a lot more time on community-focused activities than, writing books. Like I'm going to put on the screen here one week that illustrates this perfectly. All that yellow, that's podcasts and emails and YouTube. And the green is the hours that I spent creating a new book. If you're looking at the screen and saying, "What green, Garrett?" That's the point. Now, there's a bit of an obvious problem with this, which is that if I don't create books, I don't, eat. And besides, all that work that I do to build and grow my community, that's all good and fine. And I even like it a lot, but aren't I trying to grow a community around my books? So anyways, in March, as you're probably already aware, I made the decision to cut down on my YouTube production. I went from producing 3 videos per week to only producing 1 video per week every Friday, like the one you're watching today. So obviously that increased my book production tremendously. I've gotten more done in the last 2 months than I had gotten done in the previous 6, which is quite an accomplishment. But when I made this decision to scale back on YouTube a bit, there was one thing that I was very worried about, namely that it was going to feel to me like a failure. As you probably already know, mindset is very important to me. The way that I think about what I'm doing has as much to do with my productivity as the amount of time I spend producing it. I really like YouTube. I like you. I like the conversations we're able to have in comments. I like the physical activity of producing a video. Filmmaking is a big thing for me. So setting up the camera, setting up the lights, setting up sound, all that sort of stuff. And then the editing afterwards, I enjoy that. I enjoy that process. And most importantly, I was really proud of myself that from March of 2018 to March of 2019, I stuck to my schedule for a year. That's never happened before. So scaling down from that level of production could have felt like a failure. It could have felt like I was doing something wrong, like I was admitting that I couldn't quite hack it or that I wasn't good enough to continue doing that. But in fact, the exact opposite has proven true. Internally, at least in my own mind and my own mental well-being, the last couple of months have been really, really good because I have, in fact, taken all that time that I was spending on YouTube and turned it into book production. And it turns out that makes me feel great. And as I've been thinking about it, I realized that I don't feel bad about scaling back my production after sticking to my schedule for a year. I've already proven to myself and to you and to anyone else who cares to know that I can stick to the schedule, which is not something I've been able to say for most of this lifetime that I currently find myself in. And having done that, I don't find myself needing to rigidly maintain the schedule forever. Being locked into a habit for life just to prove something to yourself doesn't mean you're now in control of that activity. It just means it's become an obsession instead of an inhibition. So in summary, Rebel, I've cut down on YouTube. And it feels really, really good. I've got more time for other things, and I'm enjoying the time that I am spending here a lot more. I'm enjoying talking to you a lot more. So I guess this is all a very roundabout way of saying thank you so much for being part of my new, better YouTube experience. That's all I've got for you today, Rebel. On the off chance this is your first time seeing one of my videos, I want to let you know that you can pick up a free copy of my best-selling book, Nightblade, in the description down below. Go on ahead. All the cool kids are doing it. A big thank you to my patrons who are scrolling down below my face for their incredible support, and I will see you next Friday. Bye!